દેસાઈ સાહેબ ખોટું ભાઈ કેમ બદલી નાખ્યું પોઝિટિવ આવ્યો તો બદલી નાખો
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll start our lecture within the 5 minutes. So if you're getting the PPT on your screen,
Yes, sir.
okay. So before your GTU exam, we completed the electrical field as well as the magnetic field, and we derived the Maxwell's four equation in terms of the time varying behavior as well as in terms of the static field. So now whatever the electromagnetic wave we derive in terms of the mathematical formula, now we are transmitting this wave in terms of the different medium, because it's a combination of the two fields. So whenever you are changing the medium means any kind of your wire, any kind of your wireless communication like a free space, maybe any kind of a dielectric or maybe a conductor, then in each and every cases the electromagnetic wave behavior which may be slightly different. So from next lecture onwards or today we discuss about whenever we are transmitting the electromagnetic wave in a different medium, what is the effect, and based on this we derive some of the parameter. Now already you are knowing in terms of your electromagnetic field which may be derived in terms of the time varying behavior, curl of E and the curl of H bar equal to minus del B by del T or maybe J plus del T by del T. In both the equation which is indicate if any one of the field which may be a change with respect to time, then it will be generate the another field. Like you are changing the magnetic field with respect to time, then it may be possible to generate the electrical field, or it may be a vice versa. If the electrical field is changing with respect to time, it will be also produce the magnetic field. So these two fields which are just correlate to each other, and we are transmitting this wave in terms of the free space. So whenever you are converted the any electrical signals in terms of the electromagnetic wave, so anybody knows how you can convert electrical signals to the electromagnetic wave? Any device you are knowing which can convert your electrical signals in terms of the electromagnetic? Antenna is the device which can be useful to convert your electrical signals to the electromagnetic wave. Okay, antenna have a capability to convert your electrical signals to the electromagnetic wave, because whatever the signals you are given from the transmitter circuit to your antenna, which is the electrical signals, but antenna which may be useful to convert your electrical to the electromagnetic wave. So basically this wave is nothing but a what? You are transmitting some energy in a free space, either in form of a electrical field or either in form of a magnetic field. So that's why you are getting the so many applications where the electromagnetic wave can be utilized, starting with your radio, your TV transmission, any kind of a set-top box transmission, satellite communication, radar communication, your cellular communication. Each and every case is we are considering the transmission of the electromagnetic wave. Now it may be question why we are considering the more in form of the electromagnetic wave. Okay. Let us discuss why we are not utilize the electrical signals in terms of the free space for specifically for the wireless communication, but we are utilize the electromagnetic wave for the so many applications where the transmission of the signal should be necessary. So these are the some of the application: radar, TV transmission, cellular communication, satellite, where the electromagnetic wave can be utilized. So waves may be divided into two parts. One is the mechanical wave and second is the electromagnetic wave. We are given the more focus in this electromagnetic wave, but I'm just give the overview what is the mechanical wave and what is the electromagnetic wave. So mechanical is basically what? This wave is generated because of the some vibration, and they are moved in terms of the direction of the propagation. Clear? Mechanical wave, they are generated because of the some vibration or because of the motion of the particles. By using only two ways you can generate the mechanical wave. So whenever there is a vibration, this vibration is parallel to the direction of the propagation, then this kind of wave which is considered as a longitudinal wave. And because of the motion particle which may be a perpendicular to the direction of the propagation, then it is considered as a transverse wave. Okay. This is a simple definition of the mechanical wave. But the electromagnetic wave, there is only one type which is called the transverse. So we cannot generate the electromagnetic wave in terms of the any vibration of the particles. Okay. So transverse wave is nothing but a word, the motion of the particle which may be perpendicular to the direction of the propagation. We have taken one example. You may be identify this is the direction of the propagation and this is the signals where your electrical field and magnetic field will be present. So you can easily identify this example. There is a one string, and the string is just pick up with a one particular hand, and if you vibrate, there is a some motion will be generated, and they are moving in a some specific direction. Okay. In another application where the longitudinal wave is, you can see the velocity of the propagation and the direction of the propagation both are the same. In this case, you can consider the example of the spring. Okay, so you can see the amplitude is almost constant throughout your velocity or throughout your direction of the propagation, but they are displaced from one location to another one. So this is the example of your mechanical wave. This is the example of electromagnetic wave where we are considering the Cartesian coordinate system. In one side it is the x, second side it is y, and third is the z. So you can see the figure. Z is nothing but a direction of the propagation. Your signal is exactly moving in a z direction, which consists of a two different field. One is electrical field and second is the magnetic field. So when you are seeing this particular structure of the wave, there is a one red color is there. Red color is mentioned with an electrical field. You can identify red color which is mentioned with a electrical field. It means your electrical charge particle which are perpendicular to the direction of the propagation. So right now the direction of the propagation is which direction? It's a z direction. Yeah. So electrical field, it means electrical charges are perpendicular to the direction of the propagation. That's why this kind of wave which is considered as a transverse wave. If any one of the field which may be a perpendicular to the direction of the propagation, then it is considered as a transverse wave. This is very important word in terms of the transmission of the any kind of your communication, because the direction of the field, it's very essential to identify the received signals. And you can identify there is a blue color where it is perpendicular, it is parallel to your surface. It means it is in a x direction. It is in a x direction. Clear? So can anybody tell me which components of the electrical field which is present over here? Which components of the electrical field present over here? How many of you are knowing what is the component? See, electrical field have a three components: Ex, Ey, and Ez. Already you are knowing electrical field is in vector. We can represent in terms of the vector form. Component means it is Ex, Ey, and Ez. So your magnetic field have a Hx, Hy, and Hz. So you can see your red line which is mentioned in a Y direction, and they are moving in a Z direction. So amplitude part of your red line is nothing but your Y. It means Ey component is present, and magnetic field which is always perpendicular to the electrical field. So there is a two possibility, either Z or either X, but already Z is the direction of the propagation. There is only one possibility which is nothing but a X. So magnetic field have a three components: Hx, Hy, and Hz. Out of these three, Hx component will be present for this particular direction. So if you are selected the direction of the propagation is Z, then Ey and Hx component should be present. Okay. So this is the representation of the electromagnetic wave, which is considered as a transverse wave. Okay. Now, why we are given the more focus in terms of the electromagnetic wave compared to the electrical wave? Because this electromagnetic wave have a tendency to travel is approximately the velocity of the light, the speed of the light. Okay. Electromagnetic have a tendency to the travel with a speed of the light, which is the 3 into 10 to 8 meter per second, which is not possible for the any kind of your electrical signals. So that's why first and most important part is we are utilize this particular electromagnetic field which have a velocity of the light which is similar to the which have a similar to the 3 into 10 to 8. So second possibility is this wave have a one of the disadvantage. Okay. First of all, I give you the one hint. Whenever you are going to the any particular power generator unit which can generate some high power, like consider any kind of Kakrapar is one of the power generator unit which can generate the power, and they are transmitted this power from nearest cities, or maybe they travel with at least maybe 1000 or maybe 2000 kilometers far away where there is a home is there. So basically this is the transmission of the electrical field. Okay. So whenever you deal with the electromagnetic wave and you are dealing with some power generator unit, so this electricity which is travel from a longer distance, which we are converted in terms of the electromagnetic wave, because it have a velocity of the light, it's approximately 3 into 10 to 8. The speed of this particular wave, it's a 3 into 10 to 8. That's why the electrical signals cannot be traveled with the same speed. So that we have converted this electrical power in terms of the electromagnetic wave, and in a nearest your electrical poles, we are converting in a reverse thing, electromagnetic to the electrical signals for the longer as well as the faster transmission. This kind of a wave have one of the limitation is the electromagnetic wave can be absorbed by any particular bodies which may be located in your wall. Electromagnetic wave which may be absorbed by any particular body, either it may be any object which may be located in your home or any object which may be located outside the home. The wave which may be absorbed by the any particular object. Okay. If any object have a body temperature which may be greater than the absolute 0 Kelvin. So already you are knowing for each and every object which may be located in a real world which have a temperature is absolute greater than 0, absolute 0 Kelvin. Okay, so the waves can be absorbed by this particular object. So that's why for the transmission of the electromagnetic wave you require the direct line of sight communication, otherwise there is a high chances of your absorption. So now what we are doing, we are taking this particular electromagnetic wave and we are transmitting this wave in a different medium like a free space, some kind of a dielectric, some kind of a conductor. So first we are considering the free space, second is the dielectric, it may be lossy as well as the lossless, and third we are considering the any kind of your conductors. So when you are deal with a free space means in a air which have a conductivity is almost tends to 0. So that's why the sigma term is 0. You can also identify over here. Sigma is equal to 0. And your electrical parameters like epsilon as well as the mu, which is equal to the mu 0 as well as the epsilon 0. Epsilon 0 and mu 0 is the permeability and permittivity of the free space, which is already known to you. Okay, but whenever you are changing the from free space to dielectric have a conductivity 0, but the permittivity and the permeability, it's a epsilon is equal to epsilon r into epsilon 0, where you are adding the relative permeability and the permittivity of the material. So this equation is modified over here. Same case, whenever there is a lossy dielectric, it may be possible the conductivity which may be not equal to 0, and the epsilon and the mu, which is maybe similar to the epsilon r and the mu r. And for the good conductor, already knowing conductivity tends to infinite, and epsilon is similar to the free space, and your mu, which is nothing but your mu r, mu zeros. So now we are representing this electromagnetic wave in terms of the mathematical equations, because this wave, which is the time varying behavior, and they travel with some particular distance. So you can see easily this signal which is vary with respect to time as well as the space. Okay, and by default it has some kind of a harmonic nature, which is nothing but a time harmonic. So you can see this equation where electrical field which may be represent, and for any particular signals which have a three main part. One is the amplitude, second is the frequency, and third is the phase. So amplitude part, which is mentioned with A, Z is nothing but a direction of the propagation, T is nothing but your time, omega is your angular frequency, which may be 2 pi by A, 2 pi into F, and the another term we are adding, which is nothing but a beta. Beta is nothing but a phase shape constant. Normally if you see the equation, E is equal to A sine omega t plus phi. So this is something related to your phase phi, phase difference. Okay. But right now beta is called the phase constant, which may be a wave number. Later on discuss how you can derive this beta parameter. But this is the representation of electrical field in terms of the time varying behaviors. Now you can easily identify these signals where some sine wave is there, and if you are seeing the electrical E, which is have some amplitude is mentioned with A, and the x axis which may be considered as a Z, by taking the time is the constant. Okay, so initially you are taken the signal which may be a depends upon the direction of the propagation, which is nothing but a z. And the second figure, which is the similar thing, but instead of this time, instead of the direction of the propagation z, they are mentioning with a time t, which is nothing but a time varying behavior signals. So your signal, which may be a depends upon the top two parameter. One is the time and second is the space. So that's why E is the function of the z and t. Normally, if you see the equation of this electrical field, which may be a depends upon the direction of the propagation z as well as the t. Now they are identified in terms of the wavelength. Wavelength is equal to write down the time which is required for the one particular signals, and the u, which is nothing but a velocity or maybe speed of the wave. So if I multiply these two parameters, you are getting the wavelength and this velocity. It depends upon the medium, because whenever you are changing the medium, like if I give the simple example, when consider there is one prism and you are given the some input as a some light form. So because of this prism, it will be generated a different color, have a different frequencies, and your input is also the different. So when you are changing the medium, definitely the velocity of the signal is changed, and this velocity, it depends upon which parameter. It's a electrical parameter, which may be a mu as well as the epsilon. So that's why you can mention with over here u is equal to 1 upon under root of mu and epsilon. And same way, the u, which is also mentioned with a frequency as well as the wavelength, by just multiply these two parameter. U is equal to 1 upon mu epsilon and the lambda. So you can mention this equation, frequency of the wave, which is u is equal to f into lambda. So frequency is equal to the velocity of the light divided by its wavelength. It's similar to the lambda is equal to c by f. Like take this equation, u is equal to f into lambda. So lambda is equal to u upon f, but u for the free space, which is the c, which is the c, 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Okay. So now what is the phase shift constant? You can derive this phase shift constant by taking the angular velocity divided by its velocity of the wave. So you can easily identify over here, omega is a angular velocity 2 pi f, and the velocity which we are mentioned in terms of the wavelength, which is the epsilon lambda, and finally you are getting the beta is equal to 2 pi by lambda, which is the radian per meter. So which may be a phase shift constant 2 pi by lambda. So you can identify over here there is a one wave which is considered in a direction of the propagation is the z, and they are multiplied with a beta. So at a fixed point, they are taking one fixed point. You can see point is fixed, which is mentioned with a p, but the phase is changed. First is t is equal to 0, second is the t is equal to t by t divided by 4, and third is t is equal to t by 2. Because if you see the axis, which is nothing but not a z, it's a beta into z, where beta is the phase shift constant. So how you can derive it? Take this particular point where the signal is moving. Like you can see over here, this is the equation of your field, which is the electrical field, A sine omega t minus beta z, and we have taken the t is equal to 0. So they have taken one constant, which is omega t minus beta z is equal to constant, and we are trying to find out the z parameter. Why it is z? Because based on this z, I can identify your signal which is moving in a which direction. So how you can derive it? So you can take the constant if you are just differentiate with respect to the z. So when you are differentiate it, z is equal to dz upon dt. Then what you are getting? You are getting the omega upon beta, where omega is the angular frequency and the beta is your phase shift constant. So what is exactly you are getting? Omega t minus beta z, it gives me the direction of the propagation. Whenever this term omega t minus beta z, it's a positive one. Positive one means you can say the direction is z only. If it is the minus z, then you have to consider the minus beta z. Then it becomes a plus. So whenever the signal is something like sine omega t minus beta z, they indicate your signal which is moving in a which direction? They are moving in a positive z direction. And whenever there is a plus beta z, then it is a minus beta z, which is indicate they are moving in a negative z direction. So based on this, you can easily identify this one. So same figure they are considering is sine omega t minus beta z, where the first figures indicate the okay. So now this is the electromagnetic spectrum which may be mentioned in terms of the frequency as well as the wavelength. So you can easily identify these are the different applications and these are the some visible range. These are the different signals which may be utilized in our day-to-day life. So first you can identify the frequency which may be started with approximately 10⁶ to the 10⁹, which is called as a radio wave. So FM radio, your AM radio, your infrared, any kind of a micro applications, they are considering in this zone, which is nothing but a radio wave transmission. Second, the frequency which started from the 10⁹ to the approximately 10⁻² or 10⁻13, which is considered as some microwave transmission. The frequency range in terms of the gigahertz. So normally radar and satellite, these are some kind of application which is in microwave. Same case in terms of the infrared, you can see the frequency is 10⁻13, ultraviolet kiran, hard X-ray, gamma rays. These are the some applications which is utilized for our medical applications, X-ray or maybe gamma rays. Okay. So these are the whole electromagnetic spectrum which may be utilized in our day-to-day life. The frequency range and the wave which may be utilized. So first one is you can identify the frequency which may be starting with in terms of the kilohertz to the megahertz, which is considered as a radio wave. And from 3 into 10 to 9 or maybe 300 gigahertz, which may be a microwave frequency range. Same you can identify from the beyond the 10⁻³ or 10⁻⁴ gigahertz. These are the some X-rays, ultraviolet radiation, visible light, infrared. So these are the different applications where we are utilized this kind of electromagnetic spectrum. So you can say one example, you can identify easily the waves direction, beta, and the some parameter related to your electrical field. So there's one signal is given E50 cos 10⁻⁸ plus beta x. and you have to identify it in which direction the signal is moving. So if you see the signal which is the x, so the direction of the propagation is the x direction, but see it's a plus, so that's why it is a minus. It's a minus minus beta x, so the signal is exactly moving in a negative x direction. The direction of the propagation which is considered as a negative x direction. You can easily identify the beta as well as the time which may be taken for the travel distance is lambda by 2. So beta is easily find out by taking the omega divided by velocity. Omega is equal to 2 pi by f, and velocity is in a free space, it is 3 into 10 raised to 8. Okay, how you can identify the omega, which is the 10 raised to 8 is already given, divided by it's a 3 into 10 raised to 8. So it's a 1 divided by third radian per meter. And same way we can also identify the time which may be required for the distance is approximately lambda by 2, which is the t by 2, and based on the t we can easily identify it. So you can easily identify this figure where the t is equal to t by 2, what is the frequency, and based on we can also find out the answer. Now whenever you are taken these signals in a some different medium, like consider in a lossy dielectric, okay, then you have to derive this equation in terms of the different form. So for that we are taken some kind of a lossy dielectric where the conductivity is not equal to 0, and the epsilon mu which is similar to the epsilon 0 as well as the mu zeros. So you can see these are the 4 different equations in terms of the time varying behavior. How you can derive it? For that you should know the Maxwell's equation in your time varying behavior. Del dot E is equal to 0, del dot H is equal to 0, and the curl of E and the curl of H, which is already derived in a 3 or 4 lecture whenever we are discussing about the Maxwell's equation. So you can see these signals by just considering in terms of the free space. Normally the time varying behavior, the curl of E bar is equal to minus del B upon del T. I'm just concentrated on the third equation. How you are getting this third equation? If you see the time varying behavior, curl of E bar is equal to minus del B by del T. This is the Maxwell's equation in a time varying behavior. But we are converted in a frequency domain. Okay, so del by del T will be converted as a j omega. Del by del T which may be converted as a j omega, and beta is equal to, you can put the mu into, beta is equal to, you can add on mu into h. So finally you are getting the j omega mu into h. Now see, these all are the equation in terms of the frequency domain. This all the equations are in terms of the frequency domain. Okay, so what we have to do, we are interested to convert this equation in terms of the electrical field. Okay, because if you see the third and fourth equation, left hand side it is the electrical field, right hand side it is in a magnetic field. So somehow you can convert in terms of the which domain, in terms of the electrical field. Both the side it should be electrical field. So what they are doing, they are taken the curl in both the sides. Like you can see, we are taken the third equation and we are taken the curl of this. So del cross E is equal to minus j omega mu into del cross H. So you are getting this equation 3 by just taking the curl, and by simplify these equations, finally you are getting the del square E minus omega square E is equal to 0. Okay. Now considering the right hand side, so what you are getting, del square E is equal to gamma square E, where in both the side electrical field is present, and this equation is called the Helmholtz equation. This equation which is considered as a Helmholtz equation. So you can see when you are changing the medium, it may be possible the velocity of the signal is changed, and according to this one, beta parameter is also the change. So beta is, you can find out from this gamma square. Later on discuss what is gamma square. Okay. So I'm not going to detail of this one, but you should know what is alpha, beta and gamma. These are the three different important parameters related to your transmission. Beta is already, it's a phase shift constant. Alpha, it's called the attenuation constant. Alpha, which is considered as a attenuation constant, and gamma, which is considered as a propagation constant. So already you are knowing, when you are transmitting the any waves in a free space or any wild media, it may be possible the amplitude is changed as well as the frequency is also changed because of the multipath components. So because of this one, they are identified one parameter which is considered as a gamma. So gamma is your propagation constant. So I think in the next lecture we discuss about the alpha, beta and gamma, and we derive this equation in terms of the lossy dielectric medium. Any doubt till this?
Yes, sir.
19. Any doubt?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In the derivation of first means in the last second step.
I'm not getting your voice here.
Sir, in the last second step of the derivation.
What?
In the second last step of the derivation.
19.
Yes, sir.
Any doubt?
Yes, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I have doubt in the second last step of the derivation.
Just wait. This one?
Yes, sir. Second last.
This one. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So see how you are getting this equation. For that, you require this del cross H. Just concentrate on equation number 4. Del cross H, how you are getting? Normally the time varying behavior for the del cross H is equal to J plus del D by del T. You can write down this. Del cross H is equal to J plus del D by del T. Okay. Now J is equal to, put sigma into E. Write down J is equal to sigma into E. And del D upon del T, how you can convert it? Instead of the del by del T, you can put the J omega, and instead of this D, you can put the epsilon into E. Then you are getting the equation number 4. In this case, they are directly mentioned the equation 3 and 4 in terms of the frequency behavior. These are called the frequency parameter. You can see omega is present. Up till now, we are just considering only T parameter. But now we are considering in terms of the frequency parameter. Okay. Now you have a 3 and 4th. Now take the curl of the third equation. Okay. So in a right hand side, what you are getting? J omega and mu is are the constant, but the call can be applicable for the vector. So that's why in the right hand side minus j omega mu into del cross h. Okay. Now replace the del cross h is equal to this equation number 4. You are getting this one.
Okay, sir.
Okay, at least just try to write down these all the equations and try to solve by your at own, then and then you are getting, because this equation, last equation, del cross E minus omega square E, which may be required in a next to next semester when we are discussing the subject which is the microwave communication. Because at that time already you are knowing, suppose I want to transmit my signals in a free space or any kind of your bounded media, you require this equation in terms of the mathematical form. Okay, so you should know what is the Helmholtz equation. This equation del cross E is equal to gamma square into E, which is called the Helmholtz equation. And another way you can consider Laplacian. This is called the Laplacian because it is the second order differential equation. And based on this, we are trying to find out the sum of the parameter alpha, beta, and gamma. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So taken the attendance, just wait. Okay, your lecture is finished now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.